Hello, wonderful freaks. Groovy Mom here, back with another recipe for you. This time, roast sweet potatoes. This is one of my favorites and I make it all the time. So I'm just gonna throw it down and show you and take you along for the ride. Very easy. I'm just using 2 sweet potatoes today and a couple spices, some olive oil. As long as you've got sweet potatoes, you can probably scrounge these up. You can just rustle it down with some salt and pepper and not do anything else. But this is a very good thing to make. You can make it now, eat it later, make it now, eat it now. Tons of options. It's delicious, it's hearty, it's filling, it's yummy. I can't say enough good things about it. Nope, can't think of anything else to say. So come with me. And I'm gonna go ahead and just peel these. I'm not gonna show you the entire peeling process because that might be a little bit boring, but I am going to show you how I do it because part of my interest in watching people cook is just seeing how they do things. So I'm going to use this knife here. I don't usually use a peeler, but I usually just like to take the skin off this way. And the other piece of this that I just wanted to tell you is that when I do peel my sweet potatoes, I don't wash them first. I don't really see the point in washing them before I peel them because I'm going to rinse them anyway once I'm done. So it also kind of saves a step to just go ahead and, you know, dig in, start your peeling, and then wash them after. So I'm going to go ahead and peel these bad boys. My peeled and rinsed sweet potatoes, and this part is nothing super fancy. You kind of want to have the pieces in, you know, smaller bite-sized pieces, but depending on how much time you have, you can roast some nice large, you know, quarter or silver dollar pieces. I like to cut them up rather small only because I'm impatient and I want them to cook faster. But really you can cut them up however you want. So basically you just want to get them into some little pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these. I just love sweet potatoes. They're like one of my favorites. So there we go, I'm at the end of this. Dun, 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 dun. And you can see I'm using my DS knife, my dollar store knife. And then I'm actually using this cutting board that all 4 of my boys took shop class. No, maybe it was 3 of them. I think 3 of them took shop class, so I have 3 wonderful cutting boards from shop class. So that's nice. And then I'm going to shift gears over here. So to this, I'm going to add some olive oil, and I am just going to eyeball it. I would say maybe a 1/4 cup-ish. You could add a little butter if you want the butter flavor, but I only add olive oil to this. Then I'm going to also grind some pepper over it. And I have it here in my cast iron skillet. So you can see it pretty much fills up my skillet. If I do more than a couple sweet potatoes, I take out a baking sheet, you know, and I put some parchment on that, and I make it on that, and it works just as good. I like the skillets because I think that they heat up a little faster, retain that heat, and caramelize them a little bit more, and they go a little faster too. Then I'm going to take some thyme. Hope you can see that. Throw that in there. I'm putting in about 1.5 teaspoons for 2 sweet potatoes. Then I am also going to take, because what is anything without garlic? Okay, fine. Cereal, maybe not. Maybe. Although I will tell you one of my silly things I did, and I'm taking about 1/2 teaspoon-ish, depending on how much you like garlic. You could also leave it out. one time when I was a young chefstress, I went and added sugar to I was pretending to do a cooking show because I pretend to do cooking shows. And I added, sugar to my eggs. And then I tried to eat it as if it wasn't as disgusting as you might think it would be. Last thing, and you can omit this if you want, but I like to add a little bam, as Emerald would say. I guess he didn't quite say it like that, but I like to add some cayenne pepper. I think it adds a little something to it. So there, and then you can stir this bad boy up however you want. I do not have a dishwasher, as I will tell you millions and millions of times over until one miraculously appears in my kitchen. But so since I don't have a dishwasher, I'll just use whatever utensil I have usually just to move them around, because you just want to get them kind of coated with the seasonings and the olive oil before it goes in the oven. But what you're going to do is you're going to be taking it out anyway. Now here's where things get tricky for me, because this is usually a side to something. I do often do it by itself, but I don't usually have any kind of cooking time. I'd say it takes maybe 40 minutes. I'm going to guess. I'm going to actually time it and see if I'm right. But I don't usually time it, and I don't always have the same cooking temperature either. Like right now I have my oven, I was going to set it at 350 because I was thinking of doing some cookies, but I think I'm going to hold off for my cookies for a hot minute while my butter, I don't think my butter is ready. Yeah, I'm going to let this butter cool, just warm up a little bit more. But so instead of doing 350, I kicked it up to 375. So I'm going to pop this puppy in there at 375. I'm probably going to let it go about 20 minutes to a half an hour before I start shuffling them around. You really kind of want to shuffle them around more during the last part of the cooking phase. So I'm going to guesstimate about 20 minutes. I rely a lot on my sniffer when I'm cooking. I do use a timer, but my sniffer is almost more accurate than the timer. So just when it starts to get a certain smell, that's when I start, doing things or moving things. So I'm going to pop this in, like I said, 20 minutes, and then I will be back with you, and you can see how I do my... Look at them peeking out there. I don't really want to show you my oven, because on some of the cooking channels that I've been on, I have seen some very, very mean comments about dirty ovens. Not saying that my oven is dirty, but it's, I use it every now and then, and so do my kids, and sometimes their pizza drippings drop down on the bottom, and I hate the smell that comes after that. But anyway, so they're in my oven. Yep, there's supervisor number one, just deciding to be a bad kitty and hop up on the table when she knows I'm not looking. And then here's lover number two, who's scratching at the door. Oh, look at him. Oh, look, are you embarrassed, Weezy? He wants to go outside. You know that snow's up over your head. This is where we're at. This was about 20-25 minutes, and you can set your timer, or you can just kind of wait for it to start smelling good. You'll start smelling that it's doing some magic in there. You start to smell the spices and such. So you can just come in and move it around a little bit, because what you're going to want is you're going to want these to start browning up and doing a little bit of making love in there. And see, it's already starting to look good. They already feel a little bit soft, but they're not anywhere near where they need to be yet. I'm going to pop these back in. I would say another 10 minutes or so. You can also listen when you hear them sizzling. That's when you're going to want to kind of just toss them around. Do you hear that? You see those edges starting to get a little bit of brown? Bone chicka wow wow wow. Bone chicka wow wow wow. Yeah, that's how I feel when I'm making these sweet potatoes. Oh. That's how I feel when I'm making these sweet potatoes. They're so good. So I stirred them up a little bit. I see the edges are starting to brown. I actually kicked this puppy up to 400 just because I'm a little short on time and I want to get these done. I also decided that I was going to start making some cookies because I can't control myself. And this is that recipe that I made the other day with the chocolate chip coconut cookies. Those are really good. The reason I'm going to make this recipe is because my lovely, lovely neighbor, sweetheart, we got about like 9,000 inches of snow, and sorry, I was putting that in the oven. 9,000 inches of snow. I look outside and here he's snow blowing the entire driveway. I'm talking about like mounds of snow blowing, and then I see the snow going off of my windshield. He is digging out my car. And you know why he does it? He does it just in case I have to go somewhere with a grandbaby. He doesn't want me to have to worry about not being able to get my car out. So how sweet is that? So anyway, that boy's getting some cookies. All right, these are about where I like them. They are soft, but they've got that caramelization going. Can you hear that sizzle? Can you hear that? Can you handle that? I can't. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep these pups out and get ready to eat them. Yeah. Hey. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Okay. That could have been a tragedy. Why don't they put those child things on gas ovens anymore? All I have to do is move my butt and the oven turns on. Like, no lie. I can't tell you how many times this happens. It's kind of concerning.